love? Welcome to Fashion Wednesday with me, your fashionable host, Dinah Edinam Kumbey. You know how we do it. Fashion Wednesday is that show that brings you closer to your favorite fashion heads right here in Ghana. These are people who are making waves here in Ghana and abroad. Today I'm speaking with the owner of the brand Ajabeng. He is Travis Obeng-Casper. This brand was founded in 2020 and they're doing amazing. I love the fact that they have unique pieces which are also eco-friendly, and so you know that we're definitely going to be talking about sustainability right here. Hi, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing amazing.
I can't help but it hits me that the brand was founded in 2020.
Yeah.
And 4 years down the line, you have your own space, you have people working for you, and your brand is doing well. How does that make you feel? First of all, let's just start with that. When you look back, if you really think about it, 4 years is quite young.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does that make you feel?
It's been an amazing journey. There has been a lot of things happening in and out, but I think the brand has been able to be in that position where I believe it's making sense. So there's been a lot of consistency throughout. So I believe that's what making the brand keep going. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. I'm looking forward to what God has to offer for me, because obviously without God, this wouldn't have happened. So
but what inspired you to start in the first place? Did you always know that fashion was a thing for you, or did you discover it down the line?
Interestingly, football was my first love. So I used to play football.
You are far away.
Yeah,
from
I used to play football, and very well as well. However, I had this inner feeling. I had this inner, interest that but I think fashion is also something that I had more interest in. So
at what point was that?
I think when I was in JHS, maybe when I was around 12 years.
So how did that even manifest? How did you realize that fashion was a thing you liked?
Yeah, so interestingly again, my mom used to buy a lot of, fabrics, clothes.
Right.
And for her, it was, about the fact that, I don't know, but she just got them. It was a lot. And that prompted me about something. Also, she used to not dress in she used to dress in a very different, typical Ghanaian way. So she would wear the denim, jacket and pants. Hey. And she was chilled. She was very interesting. So that kind of I felt like, oh, this is cool.
So the fabrics that she was buying, did she want to sew them on her own, or she was going to give it to someone, or?
Not necessarily, but she just liked them.
Nice.
She just liked them. So she was just buying randomly, and for me, I felt like, okay, this is cool. But that was just outside of it. Personally, I just had this inner feeling that I have a thing to do with fashion. So I had to get involved in it. Also, I always say this, that I used to do this to learn how to sew on my own, just to control the machine. Not the fully, but
which machine is it? The electrical?
No, the electrical one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I got someone to help me thread it, and then the next thing, I'm good. So yeah, 90%. I usually say that 90% of everything I do or I know is over self-thought. So I kind of whatever I want to put my mind on, and I just want to do it. I do it.
Did you eventually go to fashion school?
Yes. So I went to Rios Originates, which is based in Jolu. Okay. And so I did a 6 months course training, and after that, I was selected to do my graduation at Glitz graduate show, Glitz Fashion Week in 2018. And after that, I went to Radford University to study fashion as well. But unfortunately, COVID came, and all of that. And also I was exploring how to, obviously become an actual brand. So there was this competition in Lagos called Arise 30 Under 30. So that was in 2020, and I applied for it, and I got the opportunity to be part of the 30 designers selected in Africa. And out of the 30, they were going to select the top 8 designers. So I was selected as part of the top 8, and I hadn't done anything. So this like new student fresh out of school, I was competing with, designers who have been in the space for a decade, and I've been part of the top 8 designers. It was like, wow. So that actually forced, us to establish in 2020, right? So when we go back to Ghana, it's like, okay, well, they said we are top 8 designers, so you need to become like one, yeah.
But I went on your page.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that stood out for me was the fact that your page, you're very particular about the fabrics you choose.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. Why are they certain? I'm seeing some of these fabrics. Why are they? I don't know, what fabrics are they and what draws you to them?
Well, I mean, again, when you look at the Ghanaian context of fashion, you think a lot about prints. Yes. And I don't super do well with a lot of colors. I am very toned down, and also it's because of the way I want to behave in terms of like my direction. So just how do I use the simplest way, in my design process. So in terms of like fabrics, I'm very interested in textured fabrics. So even if it is plain, I like the feel of it. So once even you are far away, you look at it and it's like, oh, okay, this is cool. I also like to use a lot of try my best to use biodegradable fabrics, like so wool linen blends, cotton blends, and and whatnot. However, one of the things the brand has been exploring is that so we've been able to get back to our heritage, which is the hand-woven fabrics. And what we've been able to do with it was that we've tried to create like a hybrid Ghanaian textile. So a blend of kente, fugu, and then keta from the Volta region. And so for me, it's like, how best can we bring all of these techniques together and create a hybrid fabric? And also, the best thing is find a modern way, to represent it. So having a softer feel, a lighter feel, and still keeping the durability, because it's very important. The goal for this is, how to create value for our hand-woven textiles. Because if it's just the wrap, and if it's just the cover and slates, the gowns, that's not enough. How do we use it for our everyday wear? You wake up, you go into the office, you have a hand-woven pants, same as the shirt and whatnot. So that has been the goal. So that's what the brand is exploring. So now the core of the brand is to celebrate, or is to, use our local textiles. So that's what we've been using now and exploring.
And how has the response been so far from the Ghanaian market?
Yeah, it's shocking. It's incredible because everyone is like, it's once you feel it, you're asking, wow, it's soft. Oh, it's soft. It's soft. Because the typical textiles we have here, it's hard. It's not conducive for the environment you're in. So, for us to get to the point where, we can actually use for a basic shirt, a basic pants, something that you can pick it, every time and then wear it. So there's been an amazing response to it. And even outside of that, also the way we are communicating about it is also educating people as well. Right. To say that, okay, we are not just trying to create something out of it, but this is value. Outside of Ghana, what does it mean? And that's what we want to portray. That's what we want to, speak about. So yeah, there's been an incredible response.
I'm really glad, because this is a very sustainable brand from what you've explained so far. What are some of the challenges that you've had to face in building this brand?
I mean, it's the same entrepreneurship, challenges. Yeah, you're facing finances, artisans, tailors stressing you, all of that. But I mean, obviously, it's just that way. There hasn't been anything that you cannot conquer. Right, as long as we are here, it means that we've gone through a certain level, which is good, at least. But yeah, we've just challenges are fabric sourcing, the threads, dealing with, tailors, it's all of that.
Who do you, because you were saying you are blending a number of things from kente to...
Yeah.
So do you have a particular person that does it, or like you can go to anybody to develop something like that for you?
No, so with the kind of texture and feel I wanted to create, it was very difficult to do it here. It's two African countries that they are known for that. That's Burkina and Mali. And sometimes, Burkina and Kenya, and sometimes Mali. Mali has the cotton for it, but Burkina is able to weave like all kinds of textures, and Mali, Kenya as well. So I was trying to go there and then explore. But this is a very, very mind-blowing experience, because I think there was this kind of like alignment that I had. So one day I was like stepping out Thursday afternoon, and then I go into a cab, Uber, and so I was having a conversation with the Uber driver. He asked me, what do I do? And I said, I'm a fashion designer, blah blah. And he said, yeah, he can actually tell from the way I'm dressed and all of that. And I asked, okay, so outside Uber, what do you do? And interestingly, he's a multidisciplinary artist. So he's a 360 artist. He's a designer, he's a textile designer, he's a sculptor, he's a painter, everything.
Wow.
So I was like, yo, this is cool. So, so I shared my vision, what I wanted to do with the textiles, and said, yo, he's been in the space, right? He's been one of the few designers that, started doing this textile thing and whatnot. And he's also been thinking about the idea of how can we create value for our Ghanaian textiles? Because we are not, it's just here, it's not going anywhere. Nobody's paying attention outside, of Ghana. And so I shared that and said, hey, he was at this exhibition and he thinks that they'll be able to weave what I'm thinking or what we are thinking. Because then, okay, I've met someone, we are thinking aligned, the same thing. So we went to this place in Mampong, Art House, and we met Mr. Kofi Setoji. So Mr. Kofi Setoji is the co-founder of Nobuke Foundation. Okay. And I shared my vision with Mr. Kofi, and Mr. Kofi has also gone all over Ghana to understand the weaving processes, to say, no, we can do so much with this, so why are we not doing it? He went part of, the African continent to also understand the different types of weaving. And then he has done it. So he has done what I'm thinking. So I shared my vision. I was like, yo, I've been waiting for you, but not literally. Yeah, he was waiting. Yeah. So it's like, I'm waiting for someone to come think like that and use that. Yeah. And so I was like, sure. And also now we go to the weaver. And the weaver too, in his hometown, that's the master weaver, Emmanuel, in his hometown told his family that he thinks the traditional way of weaving, there can be an innovative way. He wants to see his weaving being worn in a certain way. And so Mr. Kofi, saw Emmanuel's weave and he felt like, no, this is someone who he thinks can be able to learn and then get so that's the alignment. Yeah. So I met Mr. Aubrey, the Uber driver, Mr. Aubrey meeting Mr. Kofi finding Emmanuel, and it's just one vision. Like we all looking at one goal, one.
That's how you know that it's ordained.
It's ordained, right? So so the whole Ghana, I'm so glad that Ajabeng could be the first brand.
I'm so glad that Ajabeng is on Fashion Wednesday to talk about this.
Yeah.
Because this is amazing.
So I'm glad that at least, Ajabeng is the brand that, because the other designers that are using our Ghanaian textiles, but for us, it's like, we are changing the texture, we are changing the feel, the softness of it, so it can be worn as everyday. Because, I'm sure, I believe you've seen the new Kente's Fugus around, it's the shining and all of that. And even taking care of it, it's very difficult. You have to boil water, it's a lot. And so for me, it's like, how best do we create value for this? And, I want to create like a cross-cultural weave. So bringing trying to bring all the weaving techniques together and make it one and say Ghanaian textiles. So we are not saying Fugu, Kente, no. Ghanaian, it is from Ghana, Ghanaian hand woven. And so that's what we've been working on.
What are the foreigners saying about this weaving, about your brand?
So the thing is that the African continent is very vibrant. You know, we have so much, we have a lot, and they don't get this, right? So for us to do things hand woven, it's mind blowing to them. No, it's mind blowing because with them, they can build the machines to mechanize it.
Yes.
But the idea of sitting down, because this is not just a craft, it's like, it's you looking at it as an art piece. Yeah. Because sometimes even the symbols and whatnot, you can find your own way to do it. And you look at it and someone is creating some intricate patterns and you're like, how are you doing this? Right? It's not just a craft. Because you have to see beyond just the work, just the skill, and be able to create something that's like, wow, this can be in a museum. This can be somewhere that people would go and look at it. And, you know, for them, they wish they had this, right? They wish they had this. So that's why it's important for us to continue to celebrate it. It's continue to promote it, and it's continue to make sure that, you know, we are finding, you know, innovative ways to also keep that consistency going. Because if you stay like that, it's like, okay, what are you doing to it? So you need to find better ways because the world is evolving. So how do you evolve with the hand woven? So you're not just breaking it down to mechanize or something, but how do you maintain the hand woven but still keep that innovation and creativity to it? So
what's your process like when you're designing a collection or like an outfit?
Yeah, I discovered this. I tend to like figure this process, you know, myself, because the process is in 3 formats. Okay. So I tend to do the research, the reference, and creative direction. I like to do a lot of, you know, reading and, you know, because for me, design is born out of research. You know, when anyone can make the outfits, you know, Ajabeng, San, Kofi, Kwesi, they can make exactly what everyone is making. But what would make sense out of it is that, you know, it's attached to something, it's related to something. So I tend to do a lot of research to understand, why do I want to make an outfit? Why do I want to do a collection? So I would have to think about what I want to talk about. So maybe I can have about 3 ideas in my head. I was like, okay, at this moment, what makes sense? And then I need to pick that, what makes sense, and then I need to develop that. So developing that is picking a theme out of that. And then out of the theme, I need to reference. So reference, I have 2 types of referencing. So I have the direct and indirect. So what I am inspired by, am I looking at what's in there exactly? And then I pick it. So let's say I watched a movie, a film. And then the pieces they were wearing in the film, I'm picking exactly that. Okay. Or the story in the film, I'm referencing the behavior of that story in that. So that's part of the referencing. And then the last one is creative direction. So creative direction is fabric sourcing, you know, your lookbook, your campaign, because that's like the overall thing of what you think it should look like. So I will do the research, the reference. If the research reference doesn't make sense, I'm not doing anything. So I have to do that first. And it can take me about, you know, roughly 2 months to fully understand that, this has to hit me, before I'm ready that, I want to talk about this particular story. So if you look at all the collections I've done, so I think within 5 years, we've been able to do like 7 full collections.
Okay, so what's the most recent one?
The most recent one is Heritage in Motion. So basically, our Ghanaian textiles, which is our heritage, and how we've been able to, you know, add this innovation to it. So that's in motion, that's moving forward, right? So our heritage moving forward, our heritage in motion. The previous one was Pride of Ghana, and then do you let your collections tell a story?
Yeah. Is that, like, there's some sort of story?
Yeah.
How important is that to you?
It's so that, like I'm saying, if research reference doesn't hit me, I'm not doing any collection. It's so, because for me, again, design is born out of research. For me, it's the only time someone is buying a shirt is because they can relate to it. Like they should be able to look at it and say, oh wow, like this is cool. And not just in a cool way of saying, you know, it's nice. No, I mean, because anyone can go to H&M, Zara, Mr. Price, whatever. You know, they can get very cheap outfit to buy. So why are you in Ghana? And then someone should be, you know, outside of Ghana and say, okay, I want to purchase, and then they are paying for shipping and for what? You know, it doesn't sound, you know, properly. So there has to be that relation to it. So for me, storytelling is like, you know, it's a relation where you look at it and say, oh, you know, I want to be a part of it because it's a language. You know, do we speak the same language, right? Because basically, like, what we are doing with the brand is that we explore the purity and vibrancy of African culture that infuses post-colonial optimism with a Pan-African spirit. You know, that's a lot of, you know, English, right? Yeah. But you know, when you pay attention to what I've said, so it's like the purity and vibrancy of African culture. So we are just using the simplest way to represent Ghana and then the continent, like simplest way. So, you know, that's why the pieces are very muted, you know, it's toned down. We are not doing too much. You know, the cuts are just, you know, they are fine, they are simple, they are easy. You wear your everyday wear, you're gone. And then, you know, which infuses post-colonial optimism. I'm heavily inspired by the post-colonial era, you know, that kind of like excitement, you know, it was very vibrant for me. You know, sometimes I wish I'm a very old soul, so I wish I was in that era to kind of like explore what was happening. So I'm heavily inspired by that era, and also with the Pan-African spirit, the idea that Africans can actually come together to create one, you know, unity and form, right? So again, what the brand actually even talks about alone is a story on its own. So it's like once you get to understand, it's like, oh, I get why you are doing this. You know, I get why you are doing that. Because even if I make, you know, a vest, a singlet, right? You could see it. You could see that. Oh, I just get it. You know, I just get it. So for me, it's very, very important. It's very key, you know, to have that story to the brand, because that's the language, you know, and once you speak that and people understand that language, they're going to connect. Yeah.
What do you think sets Ajabeng apart?
Story. So again, I don't do too much with, you know, Ajabeng. I at all.
I went on your page and I'm like, you seem like such a calm person.
Yeah.
It's just I went on the page, I was seeing the designs and stuff, and I'm like, this is just somebody who is laid back. That's as she said, doesn't want to do too much. Yeah. You just base. Yeah. If you want us, you can come for us. If you don't want us to.
No, I think what the core thing is language, and the language I mean is, you know, what's the brand communicating? Like again, and so what? See, you are a fashion brand, you know, and so what? You know, and I think what has been able to, you know, separate Ajabeng for, you know, any other Ghanaian brand is that the idea for, you know, for us to look at it and say, okay, how best do we, you know, communicate or celebrate, you know, Ghana and then the continent? So it's been done in a way that, you know, it happens in our campaigns. So the campaigns are like, I pay so much emphasis on campaigns. Like the campaign has to hit me. You just look at the campaign and like, it's like a film. But I'm just selling clothes. But the campaign alone is like, why do you have to go that extra mile? You know, to even do that? Why? You know, and also, you know, paying attention to little things. You know, and also I think I have been able to create this sort of like identity for the brand. Yes. So I can be outside and then someone is wearing a random fit and they're asking me if that's Ajabeng, right? Because like they've sort of like understood, you know, the identity of the brand, where the brand is headed, you know, which is great. But I mean, I guess there've been attention to, what we are putting out there. You know, we are not just, you know, doing anything, you know, anyhow. And also because the pieces are not like the typical Ghanaian kind of like pieces. It's plain, you know, it's just shirt, pant, but also, you know, the kind of finish you are giving to it, because you're not doing anything anyhow. You know, there are attention to details to every single thing. The pieces you look at the finish, you're like, oh wow, you know, I get that. People give me that impression that, are you sure this was made here, right? You know, the t-shirt, this is like a normal tee, but it's made here, right? Because also, again, I'm looking at it, say how.
Wait, even the fabric?
Yeah. No, I mean, the fabric is not made in Ghana, yeah, but I'm saying that how, like, just to be able to look at a certain fabric and say, okay, I can create a basic tee out of it. You know, it's different, right? You know, getting the right babe for it and whatnot. It's very different. So, but yeah, what separates Ajabeng from other brands is, you know, is the language. You know, we are communicating something that no other Ghanaian brand is communicating, I believe, yeah.
That's on period.
Yeah.
How do you stay inspired? Through it all, through what you're sourcing of fabric, through the design, the research, everything, how do you stay inspired?
Well, I stayed inspired by the people that love Ajabeng, honestly. I think every time I go outside and people make me feel like Ajabeng is too, like, it's big.
The big brand,
I'm like, no, but and I understand. I understand why they feel that way, because sometimes I want to get outside of Ajabeng and feel exactly the same thing, because it looks okay to me. Every time there's a collection, it's not enough. I'm like, what have I done, right? But then again, I'm getting that impression that this is cool. This is cool. I guess that's what has been, you know, keeping me more, you know, inspired and all of that, and, you know, continuing to, you know, do what I love. You know, I enjoy watching this West African cinemas, you know, and whatnot. I'm a very, very old soul. I love Ghana a lot, so I tend to listen to very well, I do sort of like, you know, high life Ghanaian, but also in the modern high life, you know, not necessarily deep, like I love the deep high life, because I did one collection, which was part of my previous collection, which was Pride of Ghana. And this is very, you know, it's going to blow your mind. So I was inspired by Nkrumah, but it wasn't necessarily Nkrumah. So for me, what motivated Nkrumah's personal life, for him to say, nah, you know, let me gain independence for Ghana, because this guy probably didn't sit randomly. You know, something had to push him. Because, I mean, obviously, when we think about Nkrumah, it's like, oh, first Ghanaian president to gain independence, blah, blah, blah. That conversation is there. But for me, so what? So what actually motivated his personal life? And, you know, throughout the research, it was two things. It was high life and dance. So for him, he believed that high life could bring a collective people together. Because trust me, when you go to, you know, the bar, the club, and then it has to be one song, and that's going to move everyone. So that alone, he felt like this high life could bring a collective people together, and then, you know, create this, you know, harmony, you know, bring this happiness, bring pleasure amongst, you know, people. And I looked at that and I was like, oh, okay, how can I tell that through clothing? So I had to reference that. So I referenced two parts. So I referenced Nkrumah himself, and I referenced the high life side of it. So we went to Salt Pond. You know, he joined the UGCC. That was like the first political party he joined. And then they had their headquarters at Salt Pond. So we went to Salt Pond, the headquarters there. And then there was this image where they were carrying Nkrumah. They were like hailing him. And then the model we used, I made the guys in the community also raised, you know, the model in front of the headquarters of UA. So it's just to serve as, you know, Nkrumah came from here. He believed in something. What did he believe in? He believed in high life. So through that, and then, so we also did the whole campaign where we used AI to, we use AI for Nkrumah to narrate what we wanted to talk about.
Oh, nice.
Right. So it's like.
So you sort of combine like the oldies.
Exactly.
The new.
Morning, exactly.
Right.
And then in the narration, Nkrumah was basically saying that high life is basically Ghanaian's identity.
Yeah.
Right. And when you sit down and you think about it, that's really it. Everything we do is deeply rooted in high life. Right. We shouldn't fight for anything. It's high life. Because if you want to feel Ghana, just look at it in the high life perspective. Then you properly understand it. Because whenever he was traveling, he had high life bands following him. He said high life should be the national music for Ghana. Right. And so for me, it's like that was like a phase of even I didn't realize that I was educating people.
Yes.
Right, because that alone, people feel like, oh, I didn't know. Of course, we all didn't know, right? But for me to share that even through clothing, so now you're not just paying attention to the clothes, you are paying attention to what exactly, what's being said and all of that, right? So it's
honestly, this has been such an eye-opening, educative conversation. But before we move to the next segment, I just want to know what advice would you give to someone who, someone who is young, wants to be a fashion designer in this Ghanaian space?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I tend to like assist other designers as well. Right. So I have this this platform called the Ajabeng way. So basically, like, I believe in my process, and I believe that once you're able to go through this process, something has to make sense. Because even the brands I look up to, some way, somehow, they have these elements in their design process. So for me to be able to go through that, I don't force Ajabeng. Like, I don't even know how Ajabeng is making sense. Like, I don't know. So for me to be able to do that, shows that there's something that's working. So I tend to like assist them to go through that process. I mean, obviously you don't have to do exactly the same thing, but look at it in that format, and then it will do well. But yeah, I mean, the space we are in is very difficult. Unfortunately, I can't boldly and proudly say that we have an industry. I can boldly say that we have a proper, correct fashion industry. I read one article and on BOF, Business of Fashion, and they were mentioning the African fashion ecosystem, and Ghana wasn't mentioned. And I was like, we are supposed to be the center of Africa, right? The gateway to Africa. First begin independence, and then everyone is following us. So we are supposed to be like the face of everything. Yes. If someone does something, it's like, oh, but Ghana did it, so Ghana has it, but Ghana is going through it. So, but I can boldly and confidently say it, and I know amazing talents, I know amazing designers, which are even friends of mine, and amazing ones even outside. And I look at it and I know that something good is going to come out of it. So I mean, what I believe I'm going to tell the young ones or any aspiring designer, even older than I am, and then they feel like, I want to get into this space. You have to understand that you have to give reason for what you are doing. Nobody truly cares about the pants, the shirts, the dress you are making. You have to give reason. And reason two is for you to look at it and say, okay, how best can I communicate what I'm bringing out? Because if you're able to articulate, what you want to do, what you want to design, that is it. And, we should be able to get in that space properly and also pay attention to detail. But I mean, one of the things I believe Ghanaians, we don't do or we lack is attention to detail. So if we are able to pay attention to detail, there's no blueprints, someone can start tomorrow and then he's making or she's making more sense than I am. So there's no blueprints. You can make sense anytime you want. Just make sure that you are giving reason to what you're doing. Yeah.
Just make sure you're giving reason to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
And again, very, very, very,
Yeah.
very educative conversation. But guys, we'll be moving to the next segment. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
The quick fire fashion round, where I'll be giving him a few options. If I like you, I'll give you just one question. Yeah. But yes, he's going to be thinking through very quickly.
Yeah.
And then he'll be answering my questions. Don't go anywhere. Do stay tuned. Hi guys, if you just tuned in, this is Fashion Wednesday with me, your fashionable host, Diana Edinam Kumbey, and today I have with me Travis, who is the owner of Ajabeng. It's a Ghanaian fashion brand here, and we've had a very interesting conversation, very educative. Something about sustainability. If you really want to be a sustainable brand here in Ghana, Ajabeng is the brand you should be looking out for. Now it's time for my favorite part of the show. It's the quick fire fashion. I don't know why you are laughing. Why are we laughing?
I think I'll find it nice to do. So
okay,
yeah, I'm ready.
No problem. It's the quick fire fashion round, guys. Yeah. I'm giving you two options.
Yeah.
Inside there to be just one question that you answer, and then we see what's up.
Okay.
So I give you the options, you choose the one that you want, and you explain why.
Okay.
All right, so we're starting.
Yeah.
Casual wear or formal wear?
Casual wear.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Prints or solid? I feel like usually when after I have the conversations with the people, then everything is just clearer.
Yeah.
So prints or solids? I know it's
solids. Yeah.
Okay. Tailored suits or relaxed fits?
Relaxed fits. I mean, it depends.
Interesting.
But more of it is relaxed fits.
Under what circumstance would you wear tailored suits?
So there are some couple of pieces that so it depends on the direction of especially the collection, what you want to communicate or what you want to express, and that would add a bit of like tailored and all of that. But most of the pieces, I enjoy relaxed fits, more.
So right now you're speaking for Ajabeng.
Yes, relaxed fits.
So you personally.
Yeah, relaxed fits.
If you're lying to, we'll take it like that. Yeah. But accessories or no accessories? When you like relaxed fits,
yeah,
you don't want to do too much.
Yes, you don't want to do too much. So, also, it depends. Okay. It depends. So this is me as a person, or this is like a brand.
We can do both.
So with a brand, for example, you'd want to add something. Okay. You would want to add, because the pieces are usually like they are plain, so you don't want to be very flat. Right. You want to add something to it. So it depends. It depends on what you're looking at. I am a I don't mind earring. Exactly. Yeah. I like some few.
Accessories.
Yeah, but not too much. Okay. Yeah, not too much. Okay. So it depends. Yeah.
Okay. What's your go-to accessory for elevating an outfit?
I mean, it's my Kirele shoes. So Kirele is like a shoe brand in Nigeria. Okay. I love them so much. I mean, I'm wearing them.
Is the house shoe?
Yeah.
Do you know how people have been dragging people like you on Twitter? They said that's house shoe.
No, this is not half shoe.
It's not?
Like, yeah, I mean, you should see the brand. Amazing, incredible brand.
What are you wearing? It's not half shoe. What is it?
No, it's Kirele. It's not half shoe.
So if it's not half, the shoe is not covering your back.
No,
so
it is Kirele shoe. It is not half shoe.
So right now that the shoe is not covering the back of your feet, how will you describe
my relaxed fit will cover it.
How will you describe the shoe? I said the shoe, describe it.
Oh, my pants will cover it. Don't worry.
Okay, what's your biggest fashion faux pas?
Well, I mean, again, for me, there's really not any sin in fashion. You don't go wrong with anything, unless all you have to do is that, you need to understand your figure, to go with what that works for you. Right. So I think that's the only, maybe, you are not, the body, it's some way, and then you wear some fitting and, so you have to understand exactly. So apart from like fitting, anything, I mean, whatever makes you comfortable, yeah.
I feel you. Okay, a designer past or present you'd love to
Was
collaborate. Who?
Was Bona. She's a fashion designer in the UK.
Okay.
I love her so much. Yeah, she keeps me going.
Aww.
Yeah.
It's the way you didn't even hesitate,
Yeah.
like you just said it.
Yes, she keeps me going.
Okay, vintage pieces or
Yeah,
contemporary?
vintage. Yeah,
Clearly. Textured fabrics or smooth
textured.
material? But what I
No, I mean most of the pieces I have is textured. Most of them. Yeah, this is a T-shirt, so.
Well, everyday wear or statement pieces? You would
Everyday
say that
wear.
it depends.
No, every for me it's like, and that's why with the local textiles we are exploring. For me, it's like you should be able to go to your wardrobe and pick it where it's pick it
Right.
where pick it where. That's my thing.
Do you think that you would style someone from your collection for like a big event, like a red carpet event?
Yeah.
Or your brand it's not for that.
No,
line?
it's for everything. It's for everything.
Okay.
We've done a few. So for me, it's very, it's we can do it as long as there is the same vision as the
Okay.
person and then the brand. Because also you need to understand what the person's direction is,
Right.
and then if it aligns with the brand,
Okay.
it's
Okay. What's the most challenging color to incorporate into design?
I haven't explored.
Colors?
I have explored colors. I have explored shades of blue, the shortbread yellow, pink,
What did you say the color was again?
shortbread yellow.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we have cerulean blue, we have gunmetal green, we have pink red. Yeah, we like to name our colors in a way.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so-
this is shortbread yellow.
So which one has been a bit
So I haven't really explored with.
But
you
so
know.
far you've not had any issues.
No. Yeah, it's been good. Having everything. In fact, all the new colors we've introduced made more sense. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. What's one fashion rule you love to break?
Oh, what's a fashion rules? What's a fashion rules?
See, I got him.
What's a fashion rules?
Just thinking about it.
Are there rules in fashion?
I don't know.
Eh. Fashion rule I would like to break.
That you like to break.
Me, I do my thing. I just.
By now, cry, I've been breaking them. You just didn't know that you're
Fashion do not necessarily like.
No, because it feels
Yeah.
like you know how you just even spoke about your body type
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the type of clothes that
Yeah.
flatter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're subtle.
Yeah, the technical,
Yeah,
aspect
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Obviously that's, maybe the pattern drafter, the sewist, that is like technical stuff.
Okay.
But in terms of like generally,
You don't
what
really-
fashion rule, there's
You don't even believe that
even
there are rules.
yeah, there are. When you look at the Met Gala, everyone is just doing like
Yeah.
then and we will be sitting behind and say this is not good, this is good, this is not good. Meanwhile, they've actually thought about
Yeah.
what they are,
And usually
what they're
when
going to
you-
wear.
Yeah, when
Right.
when you go and watch some of the
Yeah.
interviews or the interviews that were written
Yeah.
about the look, you tend to now understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, makes
Yeah.
sense now.
So
Okay, a traditional African clothing or garment you would like to see more in mainstream.
no
fashion?
traditional
Yeah.
like have you seen anyone discard kente or
Kente.
full before?
No.
And that is us.
Yeah.
We struggle to throw things away. And we need to continue with that. That's sustainability, right?
We think yes.
Yeah.
So we think that should make it into mainstream.
No, it can get to mainstream, but also, you don't want that one piece, in the mainstream all the time. You want the traditional one that,
Right.
that represents you, right?
Okay, what is your most unexpected source of inspiration for a design?
This I love fufu so much. So maybe
What? about inspiration for a design from fufu?
No, I'm just saying. I said I'm inspired by everything. I'm inspired by everyday life.
Well,
These people that know me very well, they are just. I'm sure once they see this, they are going to be like, this guy. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's just. By the way, design.
Like for your collections, if you really think back to some of your collections.
So this is what actually happened. So let's say I'm starting a whole collection, and then I do a few sketches to understand what I want to do. So I can produce one outfit, and that outfit I derive everything from it.
Yeah. So you're saying that one outfit.
Yeah. No, me deriving everything from it is the unexpected one, because I have actually sketched like maybe 15, 20 that I have to, once I'm done with the first production, the first sketch, I have to go to the next one. But I can do just one, and then out of the one I'm picking things from it, and then I'll be using that to produce another piece. That's very some way. So I don't even go back to.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't even go back
you
to
have a
the
very
sketches.
Interesting mind.
I
You have to be thanking God.
No,
you are very
I have
unique.
I have a tattoo here that says "Iradine Meshra for Shirin Hiame." So everything I feel like must happen. It must happen. Yeah.
Guys, see, we have spiritual people in the building, okay? But thank you so much for that. When we come back, he's going to be taking us through. We've been speaking about fabrics. He's going to be taking us through some of the fabrics that he's used for his designs. He's going to be teaching us. Again, this episode is education. I'm taking you to school. In fact, Travis is taking us to school. So don't go anywhere. Do stay tuned. Hi guys, if you just tuned in, this is Fashion Wednesday with me, Diana Edinam Kumbey, your fashionable host. We are having a very educative session right here with the owner of Ajabeng, and right now he's about to take us through some of the materials that he uses for his designs. So over to you, please. Take us to school.
Okay, so this is one of the hand-woven fabrics we've been exploring. So you can actually feel the texture of it. It feels more lighter than the usual ones we actually weave here. So this has a more modern feel to it. The softness, the lightweight, and still keeping the durability of it as well. Because the more thick, heavy it is, the more durable it is as well. So once you break it down, how do you also maintain the durability as well? So this is one version of that.
What is it made?
So it's made of cotton.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why you're able to see the dirty color white. So just like raw organic cotton.
Okay.
And then, so everything, the hand-woven fabrics are from cotton.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also you have this as well. So you can actually feel the texture, as if you can, like once
you see it,
it feels like you can feel it exactly.
Okay.
So it's also, so this is actually this is a plain weave. So you can actually look at it closely. I'm sure you can see stripes in it, like white stripes, and it's not too visible.
Okay,
but
I see.
yeah, exactly. So this particular one, the idea for it, so like the cross cultural weave is that the Voltarian, Kente, the Ashantis, and then the Fugu, two things runs throughout. So the plain weave and then the stripes. Okay. So when you look at Kente, I'm sure like the symbols you be seeing line in there. And then the Fugu, like the nodness, all the Fugu is, you see the lines. Like the one they use for the butter curry, most of them are in lines, and then also plain. And then when you go to the Voltarians as well, they have that. So that has been blended into this. Okay. So there's a blend of the plain weave and then the stripe, but the stripe is hidden in it, but it's still like, so we just want to create like that hybrid, fabric, and also you can still feel the softness in it as well. This one, the full fabric, can actually look through it. It's also breathable very well. It's very conducive. You wear this and then,
Is this for a guy or a girl?
No, it's a girl. Yeah, okay. But I mean, it's a unisex. Yeah, so anyhow you want to wear it, you can wear that. This is also, similar to the previous one, same different texture, and also the colors as well. So we use more of the blacks than the whites in there. And also So these are the hand-woven fabrics I've showed. You can tell the difference when you think about the local one, the typical one we are doing. It's very different.
Yes,
It's very different from this one, and also that the thread used for that it's not cotton, so it's like the rayons and then a lot of polyester. So that's why it's very hard and thick, and then you can see the shiny in it. But that's fine. The most important thing is that are we creating value for it? That's the most important thing. So, and also the ones we've been using outside of the hand woven, because also you want to create you want to create like an entry pieces to the brand. So let's say people that feel like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I cannot get close to this side of Ajabeng, but give them something. So maybe like the t-shirts, I want to rep Ajabeng, so I want to get the t-shirts, or I want to rep Ajabeng, but in a different way. And that we have pieces like, the linen, it's more softer, and we try our best to make sure that, so most of the fabrics are from Japan. Because also it's very one of one. Once you get it, you get it, and then that's why I was saying that the pieces once it's done, it's done. It's very difficult to get things back. So,
but it's good. So I'll not go outside and then I'll see my twin. Exactly.
Right. I don't enjoy doing that at all. Right. And also even something like this, how can we? So this particular fabric, you would see different versions in the market, but it's different.
What fabric is it?
This is a lycra fabric. So because of it's a ribbed lycra fabric, so any fabric that stretches, it's lycra, and it's a ribbed one. So usually this one you might think that the t-shirts and then the sweatshirts and whatnot, they'll probably use it for the cuff of the sleeve or the neckline and whatnot. But it's like, how do you look at it and say, okay, I just want to create something out of that, and then so we use it. So yeah, the rest, I love very, very soft fabrics.
I like this one.
Yeah, extremely linen, super soft, as well.
Who is your target audience?
Well, I mean, my target audience are individuals who appreciate African fashion. People who are, middle class, people who wants to associate themselves with, minimalism, people who wants to associate themselves with, heritage. And once you think about that, you want to think about Ajabeng as well.
This is interesting.
Yeah, so this is also velvet.
Oh.
Right.
Lovely.
Yeah. Then it's just.
But I like the color.
Yeah, I mean, this is very Ajabeng. This is very, 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 very Ajabeng. We've done pink, watermelon pink and red pink. So,
Abeg.
yeah.
You done pink. No. Which one is watermelon pink?
No, because there are shades, so you have to differentiate which one is okay. Which one? No, it's. I mean, I didn't bring up the names, so I mean, we tend to.
How do you even learn it?
You research. I mean, you understand because colors have codes. Okay. Right, so this green and this green is different.
Yes.
Yeah, so this one has its own code, this one has its own code.
So this green is?
This is like, how do you call it? You can give this a forest green.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that one.
Yeah.
But where can we find you on socials, on the internet? Where can we find you?
Yeah, so on Instagram is ajabeng.gh. So Ajabeng, AJABENG. .gh only on Instagram, and then we have our website, which is ajabeng.com, so ajabeng.com, and then you can also find select pieces at Viva Accra in East Legon. So yeah, whenever you find yourself in there, you can Ajabeng, they'll sort you out. As
I'm leaving, I will be taking one Ajabeng outfit along with me. Thank you. It's recorded. Thank you. But guys, that's about it for today's episode of Fashion Wednesday with Travis, who has clearly taken us to school on fabrics, on sustainability, and he's giving us a lot of things to really think about with regard to fashion in Ghana. My name is Dinah Kumbey. My outfit was provided by Nana Afulba. You can find her on Instagram at Nana_Afulba, AFFULBA. But guys, on that note, that's about it. See you same time next week. Bye.